Hey guys, and welcome to Cult versus Current. Right, this is the final Blair Witch episode of this little bundle we've had going on.
Yeah.
First one we looked at the game.
Yes.
Which was pretty creepy.
Oh.
What?
Was it?
Oh shit!
Ah! Yeah, it was. Yeah, I will not gonna lie. I find it pretty creepy. It looks really good. Yeah. I love how it's looking. It's got the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff, and I'm liking the 90s aesthetic.
Yeah, 1996.
1996. It's got the whole with the camera and the Nokia phone, which made me giggle. I liked it. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but I'm liking where it's going.
Yeah.
I like the mechanic of the tape. I love the sort of
the red tapes.
The red tape mechanic, which is where you get a tape and you put that into your camcorder, and you have the ability to rewind and fast forward time in a weird way, so certain doors and certain puzzles could be solved.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know how it actually works, like in a reality sense, but it's cool. I feel like there's a lot of tropes in there which are good tropes, but I'm like you mentioned at the beginning. At one point, it's a bit like Outlast. It's a bit like this. It's a bit like that.
Yeah.
It's a PT. Oh, don't
Every time I
that.
mention PT,
I break into. I hate that game.
Oh.
Ah! Ah! Oh my god! What the fuck is that?
I looked at her, but she didn't kill us.
I'm done, mate. I'm done. I can't. So we're so close to the end, but I am bloody no. I am.
Yeah, when the enemies like grab you, they grab you in a similar way to like.
I hate a PT when we played it. I've still got heart attacks about that sequence. No. So, but yeah, it's all.
It was one of the greatest things we've captured on camera, though.
I hated
your
it.
reactions to it.
I cried after. I felt I was having an anxiety attack. I hated it. But yeah.
Right. So, next question. So, do you think the game is inspired by a certain movie in the franchise, or do you think they've just taken bits from like lots of the movies?
I think it feels a lot more like it's taken a lot from different games, that's for sure. But out of the movies, it's got a little bit of the first, like for the first movie where it's like someone's lost in the forest and they're trying to find them, kind of thing. Obviously, the filmmakers were trapped in the forest.
Yeah.
Obviously, the weird sort of things a little bit from 2.
Yeah.
But it feels a lot more like the 2016 movie.
Yeah, the house section definitely looks like the house in the 2016 one. But yes, I think that they've taken little bits here and there from the films, little bits here and there from games, and just kind of made. That's how you make something original nowadays, because nothing's totally original, is it? You have to kind of be influenced by bits and bobs, don't you?
And I think you're also restricted with this because it is a franchise. It is the Blair Witch Project. So you're going to have to. You can't do anything completely new and weird with the Blair Witch Project because it's the Blair Witch Project. They have iconography. You have to have the weird stick, like
stick symbol,
stick men, and you have to have the abandoned house, and you have to have people standing in corners, which I don't get in that game. I get why they're probably standing in corners now because you explained that to me, but I also don't get why there's pictures of them everywhere unless it's a collectible.
Don't you find it intriguing though? It's like it's just giving you like little bits of information for the game. We don't know quite what's happening yet.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, but I also while watching the gameplay, I felt lost. Like I have no idea what was happening.
Yeah, we kind of were just throwing you in there a bit, wasn't it?
Deep.
Yeah.
It's like, except this.
Right, so that's enough about the game. So, Blair Witch Project from 1999.
Yes.
What was your reactions and thoughts to it at the time?
At the very, very beginning, I was one of those stupid people that thought it was real.
Yeah.
I was one of the people that thought like it was real. I was so in on the conspiracy. Look, I was 12, so I was dumb. I did not know any better, right? But when you're hearing about they found these tapes and they made a movie out of it and then they're gonna like show it to you.
It was word of mouth, wasn't it?
All word of mouth.
Very clever marketing.
And also, they really got involved to make it feel real because they made their own webpage about the Blair Witch.
Yeah.
They even had the towns nearby around the time make fake real news articles about the disappearance of these filmmakers.
Yeah.
And everything. They really pushed the idea to really sell out this was a legitimate find, right? And I think that for me was more interesting rather than the movie itself, because the whole idea of thinking it's real, it's like, whoa. This is also, you know, when you realize, obviously, no, it's obviously not real, but also the fact that if these were legitimate real tapes and they found the tapes, right? You know, no Hollywood movie or studio is going to say, let's turn that into a profit.
No.
You know,
but for some reason we didn't think about that at the time.
no, we never thought that. We never thought, like, say, what TV studio is going to use this? The police would have this as evidence.
Yeah.
You know, like there would be police running around trying to find this weird ass thing.
But this was also when the internet was kind of in its infancy. I mean, the internet's been around since the 80s, but it was kind of only really used by the military then, wasn't it?
It was military and businesses. And
like when we started using it as a public, it was in the 90s, wasn't it? Like in late 90s. But like, it was like you didn't have that thing where like, oh, you can't believe that if it's on the internet. You kind of believe stuff that was on the internet, didn't you?
It's a bit, because no one believed that something fake was on the internet.
No, it was just like, oh, there's a website. It's got to be real.
It's got to be real. There's a whole paragraph about it. You know, there's no fake news like this anymore in that sense, you know. But we were duped. We're easily duped. I think we also wanted to be duped. I think we loved the idea of it so much. We really wanted it to be real, so we kind of went with it. Because if you know, when people, because I was told like, it's fake, it's just movies. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Look at it. Look at all this backstory and lore. You know, I was so in depth.
I remember people talking about it like in college and stuff, and it was one of those things where it was like you say, people wanted to believe in it, but there was people that were like saying, no, it's definitely real, nah, it can't be real, and there was that thing going on, a constant thing going on, wasn't there? I mean, still a great movie, and it was kind of a pioneer, but there was things like The Last Broadcast. That
I know,
before,
other movies before that, and TV shows before that. Like I think it was the BBC or ITV that did something very similar to that as well. Like it was like a live stream of like a haunted house situation.
Oh, Ghostwatch.
Yes. Like
Ghostwatch.
They're like proper at the time. That was a legit thing. That would fall under this as well to a point.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to have been live and all this was happening and then fucking terrible things were going on. I love that. But going on to possibly what I am assuming is going to be your next question. What do you think about it now? Now it's 20 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched the full movie for probably I might have watched it a few years ago or something. And I still appreciate it. I still really like it. It's not, obviously it doesn't get you as much as it used to get you, but I love the fact that the performances are so believable. The acting, though, is great, isn't it? It's because they were actually quite scared anyway.
I think that movie for me, I'll watch it now, and I agree with you that the performances are great and the sound design is brilliant. But I look back at it now, I think it's because there's movies who've done this so much better now. Yeah. I get bored. I genuinely get bored.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, I get nitpicky. I'm saying, like, I hate these guys. These guys act. All three of these people are dickheads. Oh, like, the whole thing that you're spending half the movie with a fucking map saying, oh, I can't find anything with a map. It's like, we're at the same log! It's, I get it, and it's creepy at times. There's some bits in the movie that are legitimately well done and creepy.
Oh.
Ah! But looking at, have you read how the movie was been made? Like the backstory behind it, how stuff the movie's been made, how there was no real script, a lot of things were improvised, and the director would literally just fuck with them sometimes just to get a genuine scare reaction.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard about that.
So it sounds more like I'm just watching a bad prank now, like a really overdone bad prank.
Yeah.
And the ending, oddly enough, the ending's the most effective, is to them standing and then the cameras fall down. But you know, they had a whole idea for like a reveal and everything, but they just ran out of film. And then when they dropped the camera on the ground, they actually dropped the camera and broke it. So they actually ruined their own ending. So, but by that point, looking back at it now with this knowledge, I think it's quite incompetent.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that it's good that happened.
Yeah.
Because I think that...
Imagine revealing it, but turn around the corner, so a person in a mask going, ooga booga!
Because they didn't have the budget to have a really good Blair Witch or anything like that, did they? So it was good that I think that I was just so caught up in it back then. And I didn't watch it at the cinema, I watched it on video.
I think that's how you, that's how you're supposed to watch it, I think.
Yeah.
You have to watch it on VHS at home, as if, you know, like a past tape. It's supposed to feel more like a snuff tape kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Right, so what else have we got? Well, what do you think about the 2016 Blair Witch?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It was alright. I didn't think it was amazing. I think it was weird that it was sort of like a pseudo-sequel, but also a prequel, but also a remake kind of situation. Because it was a sequel, but also kind of a remake, wasn't it?
It kind of has the tone of the original Blair Witch Project, but it's kind of just clearly got a lot more money.
Yes.
And it can do a lot more things with the scares.
Yeah.
And there are some genuinely creepy bits. I mean, I bought the movie because I like it that much, but like, I don't know. There are some problems with it, but at the same time, there's some really, really cool, scary stuff going on. And I know some people have said, oh no, the reason that you don't need to reveal Blair Witch, but and then when they show it, it's kind of like it's a shame. But the way they did it was kind of cool because it's only seen in like flashes and stuff. It's not like a big, like, here we go, here's the Blair Witch.
And that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I liked that. And I think it wasn't as impactful, I think, because it just felt like it was just going for the motions. It was some good bits like the house and loads of bits involving like the frights and the build up to it was good, but it's just overall alright. It's alright.
So, next question.
Why am I suspecting what this one is going to be?
Let's talk about Blair Witch 2.
No!
Book of Shadows.
It's awful. It's awful. Now, I hate it.
I don't think I've seen it because I've just heard so many bad things. I've not checked it out, but it's got a bit of a cult following now. Like, mainly for people who probably like bad movies, I would have thought.
To a point, yeah. It does have a cult following for bad movies, but also because it's got an interesting actual sort of production to it. The movie was going to be very different. It's going to be very art house. It's going to be very weird and funky and whatever. But then obviously, like most bad movies, you know, studio came involved and said like it wasn't going to be scary, oddly enough. It's going to be more like psychological. Like it was going to be more like a psychological thriller rather than a horror movie. But then the studio say, Blair Witch is a horror movie, isn't it? So make it scary, add some gore and shit, and so they came in. They had to they restructured it, and it's a Frankenstein of a movie to the point that now genuinely it's awful. And the problem with it is that I can see it could have been really kind of art house, but then when the opening sequence got Marilyn Manson and his title sequence, you know where you're going for.
So is it a case of the studio just kind of taking over and kind of making it a bit of a mess?
Yeah, and then the director didn't like where it was going, and then they had another director involved to fix up the rest of the pieces.
It's interesting to know. I wonder what the actual original movie would have been like.
It would have been like a psychological thriller more, because the whole point is they're looking at all the old tapes and they're trying to find out more about the Blair Witch. And at the end of the day, you never knew if the Blair Witch really did exist. The whole point was they were going to question the whole idea whether the whole mythos, the whole thing was running like, was it real? Were the tapes real? Were they fabricated? Right?
Yeah, because that's another. A lot of people, a lot of fans of the original film that don't like the 2016 one, think that you shouldn't reveal the Blair Witch because the Blair Witch isn't actually a real thing. It's like it's psychological. Or some people even say that Blair Witch isn't like an entity, a physical entity. It's the woods. You know, it's like a spirit of the woods kind of thing.
It's like the Evil Dead. You know how it's the forest full of demons, that kind of thing, right? Yeah, I get that, and I think, and that was going to be the whole thing, is that they're all going to be all these guys are doing research on the Blair Witch mythos to find the real Blair Witch because they don't believe that the tapes were real. But then the whole point is that it's going to be the psychological thriller where everyone's sort of doubting everyone. It would have been more like The Thing.
Yeah.
Rather than... I know! But then we didn't get that, and we got absolute tripe.
Yeah.
So, and Marilyn Manson on the soundtrack.
Well, that's quite good.
Yeah, but
does it
not
go
for this. Not for this.
Manta can go anywhere, in my opinion.
Yeah, run with it, fine. So, yeah.
Right, so to close, is there anywhere else to go with this franchise?
Oof.
Like, can they make another movie and it still be viable? You know, like.
I think the only way you can really do this to make it feel more legit is not make a movie, make a web series.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about Dude on Netflix. No, I don't think that. I'm saying leak some videotapes of of young people going to the forest on YouTube with no real following. Like, no one gets the idea, right? And you're finding them on there, like, oh, they're in the woods kind of thing. It's like, oh, this. And then weird stuff happens when they're playing around the woods and they're on a camping trip and all that stuff. And then you can, make it like an ongoing, year-long YouTube event, but with no promotion. And then you just let it realize by the end of it, when people start building up things, have you seen these weird videos?
Word of mouth, like how the original like how the original marketing was built up,
And then by the end of it, you do your last little bit, you realize it is the Blair Witch situation, and you get this massive sort of long sort of climax.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way you do it. Either that or something like augmented reality, where you make it a thing where people actually get people go into the woods with their phones and their cameras and film stuff there, and they realize you're going around, it's like, oh no, there's a thing. You find a clue and you do this big treasure hunt.
Yeah, I think they have to do something different, but that reminds you of how great the Blair Witch was to begin with, but it's also something fresh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be hard, which is why I thought the YouTube web series could be a very good approach, because you're not going to promote that the same way. You're going to, and I want it to be like a thing where it's like a year-long thing. Videos leak out whenever they can, and it's just word of mouth, and then you realize eventually by the end of it, it is a Blair Witch Project, and you had no idea. You were duped into it, and you were now completely invested.
Yeah. Well, they tried to do that with the 2016, didn't they? Because for all the time in the marketing, it was called The Woods, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it wasn't called The Blair Witch, and it's only when it came out, like it was then like on the TV advert, the last kind of like TV advert or whatever, or trailer, was the Blair Witch. But everything else up to that point was just it's the woods.
But I think the problem with that was the woods doesn't sound interesting.
No.
So when they're talking about the build-up, saying like, Adam Wingard's doing the woods. The fuck's the woods? It's like, it's a thing. I don't know. It doesn't sound exciting because they couldn't leak anything. No. They couldn't show anything because the moment they saw something, that's like the Blair Witch Project, and they say, oh, it is the Blair Witch Project. I've ruined my own surprise.
Yeah.
So, it's hard. I don't know where we'll go really with that.
No, it's going to be difficult, but I'm sure they'll try and they'll bring out some crap.
They will definitely try something. Don't know if it's going to be any good, but we'll give it a try.
Book of Shadows 3.
No! No! Just bring it back.
That's like ignoring the 2016 movie, going straight from 2 to 3.
We're doing, it's proper Blair Witch 3. The Return of the Book of Shadows, featuring Marilyn Manson. That's how you do it. Brilliant.
Right, so that's it, guys. See you next time on the Enigmatic channel.